I'm Joel Grannas with Grannas Racing, and we're here at World Cup Finals with my orange H-pattern car, which is a T56 Magnum Tremec box, faceplated by Liberty Gears. And we're here trying to get the record for the rear-wheel drive H-pattern. Although last night, John Atkins, he set the record with 730, so now we got a taller order. We think the car will go faster than that. It's just we got to get more passes in to get there. The last motor was also an open deck, so I had water flowing from the block up into the head. We changed that now, it's a dry deck, so it still has water in the block and in the head, but we circulate it around. And that way it still stays cool, and it could be street driven, but this car has kind of moved beyond that point now. And it's an aluminum rod motor. It has diamond pistons in it. The head is done by Head Games, GSC cams. Intake manifold is a CPC intake. It's got nitrous, but we haven't sprayed it yet. We're planning on trying to do that. The turbo is a Precision ProMod 88. Intercooler's by Schmuck built. Everything on the car is pretty much built in-house, other than like some of the custom parts we had made by Jason Schmuck, which was like the intercooler and radiator. Everything is put together in-house. The motor is done by Brian, and then he drops it off to me, and we basically assemble the car. As far as the fuel system, it's fuel injector Clinic 1650 primaries, and then I have billet atomizer 550-pound injectors for secondaries. The pump is a Aeromotive belt-driven pump, which runs off the back of my dry sump with a hex drive. The car is tuned by Chris Delgado, Pro Speed. It has his Pro Drag package on it with an Motec M1. The car made 17, somewhere around there on the dyno, and we turned it up a little bit since then, so it's probably making more like 1,800 now at the track. On the dyno, we ran it, I think, like 55 pounds, and we're running about 60 here at the track. The best time we ran is 768. Yesterday we ran a 777, so we're creeping up on that number, and we only have about 5 passes on this new clutch setup. So we're kind of learning new things down here, and we're hoping the next pass we got it set up right. The goal is to really go probably 720s is really the goal. So that's what we want. We want the record. So I switched from the Tilton triple carbon clutch, which is just a standard diaphragm clutch, to this Black Magic clutch, and it's a learning curve. I have those guys from Black Magic, Tinsy and Kale here, helping me out to get it tuned right, and then hopefully after they have taught us some things, we'll be able to work on ourselves in the pit. So the difference between a Tilton clutch, like I used to run, and this clutch is basically you have an adjustment in the pressure plate. So the pressure plate, you can adjust how much pressure the clutch sees at low RPM, and then also it has weights on basically on levers, and as the RPM climbs, those levers come out and apply more pressure. So you basically can have the car slip out of the hole and then grab as it increases in RPM. So that's one of the really big advantages to a clutch like this. The only disadvantage is it's a lot of work. You have to basically maintain it, and you have to adjust it from pass to pass. So that's what they're doing right now behind me, is they're working on the clutch, trying to get it set up for this next pass. We got a big player here that we're gonna try to race. And John Atkins, he ran 730, so we're gonna try our best to see what we can do against him. So the chassis itself is built by Doug at Precision Chassis. Him and his team up there did a really awesome job with this car. I basically gave them my vision of what I wanted, and they built it exactly how I wanted it. So it really turned out amazing. The driveline is my rear suspension setup, which is the Ultimate IRS subframe, and then I have Penske shocks, which are done by PRS. They're over near Pottstown, PA. And then the rear end is a Drive Shaft Shop 9-inch kit with their carbon fiber drive shaft and their axles as well. So they're basically their full 9-inch setup. And then as far as the rest of the driveline, it has my GR1000F, which is the faceplated T56 Magnum. So it has Liberty's faceplated parts in a factory T56 Magnum case, factory T56 gear set. So I'm running the stock helical gears with faceplated 1 through 4. The clutch, like I said, is Black Magic's race clutch, and It has a brow bell housing in it now with a mid plate from them as well. They were able to hook me up really quick to get ready for this race as well, so I appreciate them helping me out. The wiring harness is all the wiring, the chassis wiring and the engine wiring is done by Joel at Race Spec. He did a really awesome job on that, and the ECU is Motec M1 and tuned by Chris Delgado. So I started with the Supra stuff about 11 years ago. I bought Darren DiChiara's white car, and in that, when I bought it from him, it was kind of like a street strip trim, and at first I didn't really want to race it, and then I took it to the track one time, and after that, like, I've been addicted. It was like that first year I went like I think I went 890s or something like that, and then after I made that 8 pass, I was all about racing from that point on. And then the next year after that, I actually broke his fastest time in the car, and that really like gave me drive, and that was like 8:36. And that was like a factory V160. That was 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So I've been trying to go fast and fast and fast, but it took 3 years, I think, to get from an 8:36 down to an 8:17. And then now we've gone into 7s, and it's been really hard to go faster and faster. It takes a lot of work to go into 7s and even faster than like we are now. So the difference between my white car and this car is basically the chassis itself. So this car has a 25.3 chassis, has a lot more bars in it, a lot more safety equipment. That's kind of why I built this car, was for safety for my family. Like, you know, I have a family now, I have to watch what I'm doing. So I didn't want to cut up the white car because it's kind of like near and dear to my heart. So I decided to buy a new car, a hardtop car, to get a lighter car yet. And then we put the 25.3 chassis in this. So that's really the main difference. They're really similar cars in setup. It's just this one has more bars, more safety equipment. Turbo setup differences, engine setup differences, little stuff. The trans that was in the white car was a synchro box, which is like a factory OEM box. And then this one is a face-plated box, which is more like a dog engagement style transmission, more built straight for racing. So I started out from the GM world. My whole family is all GM, Chevy guys. So all my brothers had Camaros. They're like muscle car guys. I'm kind of the opposite of them. But I did start out with kind of a mullet mobile. I had the 85 IROC Z, and that's what I started out with I got it when I was 13, and I worked on it until I was 16, and that was my first car. And then I got a 93 Corvette. After that, I started like researching stuff, and people were talking about like how a 300ZX with minimal mods, a twin turbo 300ZX with minimal mods would put a stomping on my Vet. And I ever since then I was so curious, so I bought one, and that was my first like turbo car. It was a 300ZX twin turbo, and I've had like 6 of those cars. And I built one to be like a drag car, but that didn't work out very well. And then I got the Supra from Darren, and it's been Supra since. Yeah, I want to thank the guys that come out here and support me, like my crew members who do this with no pay. So my friends just come out here and help me out. So I got to thank them for coming out here and helping me work on the car in the pits, and also helping me get the cars ready. We were trying to bring the white car out for this race also, and we worked pretty much 2 weeks straight, non-stop, trying to get both cars ready. But we probably have like 2 days left on the white car to get it done, and we just ran out of time. So we decided just to come down here and focus on the orange car. But I got to thank, you know, my wife for putting up with me, my wife and kids for putting up with me, and me being absent for pretty much 2 straight weeks there while we tried to get these 2 cars ready. So she bears with my car addiction pretty well. I got to thank pretty much everyone else that has been a sponsor for me and has helped me with this car and helped me build this car. So Precision Chassis, Race Spec, Precision Turbo helped me here to replace this turbo. Just before that last pass, we had a turbo come apart on us, which is not their fault, it was actually my fault. So Jason Schmuck, who built the intercooler and the radiator, Fuel Injector Clinic for the injectors for this car and the white car. I know I'm missing a ton of people, so I apologize if I missed you, but your stickers are all on the car, and I appreciate your help. So the fuel system on the car is fuel injector 1650 primaries, billet atomizer 550-pound secondaries. The fuel pump is an Aeromotive hex dry pump that runs off the back of my dry sump system. As far as fuel, we run methanol, and we have a small shot of nitrous that we're going to try in the car too. It's a 100 shot of nitrous right now, so it's just a small shot. We just want to try to get the turbo to come up a little bit quicker, see if we can 8th mile a little bit better. And if I can 8th mile a little bit better, I have a good chance at beating Atkins. I got my crew here, my team, Rob and Justin and DJ, and we're here trying to get the car to go fast.